MIX is potentially getting the money flow. What I would want to see is I want to see a break of this 17 level on move for a potential starter. Usually what ends up happening lately is these just break that key area and then they don't freaking come back. So I would be interested in just at least trying a break of that $17 mark if it ends up happening. AMIX potential mover, looking around.
Yeah, I noticed, like you said, Alex, it did seem like definitely a slower morning this morning.
I
We'll
took a
see what
little bit of a
happens.
starter here on move. Just testing it out towards that 17 break because I see AMIX starting to break out. So my thought process is money may leave this move and enter AMIX. So AMIX halting up, so added some move here. Looking for that $17 break of this key support because AMIX is now taking the attention. So I think people are going to leave this move. Ideally, we need to see it stay under 17 and break down. My thought process is if this AMIX keeps running, I mean, dude, such a low float trappy stock. And the thing is, like, in the past, AMIX would definitely freaking trap me. You guys know my worst possible stocks always come from when they go from low of the day to high of the day. And AMIX is that exact example of going from literally low of the day until high of the day. So kind of learning my lesson there, not to kind of mess around with that nonsense. So we'll see. Just keeping it slow and controlled. No rush. Looking around, you guys seen anything else moving? Anything else that has action?
So far, I see Amex.
Overall markets, new all-time high today. Unbelievable.
Amazing.
3 days ago, the
Yep.
entire world was ending, the economy was ending, and now we're at all-time highs. That's why I always say, man, you can't be listening to the media. You can't be listening to any of that stuff. Looking around. PLTR just keeps going. Move is continuing to act weak. So adding some move to the winner now. A little bit of a chase, but I think it's going to be okay here. FCUV is moving up. PLTR still squeezing. AMIX opens up in about a minute 30. So we'll see what it does there. Ideally, we want to see it continue to rip up, continue to be strong. Continue to take the money flow. Overall market's ripping, ripping, ripping. Everyone has FOMO now. SpaceX squeezing. Move is moving a lot slower than I thought it would. Got 15 seconds here until AMIX. A perfect scenario would be if it just keeps pushing to the high of day. Take attention away from this move. Let's see. See, that's the shit that always gets me. That low of the day to high day nonsense. You know, so recognizing that trap is a good sign to avoid. You know, that trap kicked my ass last week, and I learned my lesson from it, you know? There it is.
AMIX, testing highs. Yep.
New highs. And just like that, move is on low of the day. What's that lows over there? Let me see. 1575. See if we get it. So you see that AMIX, man? Just like we said in the watch list, nano float, most likely ignoring short unless a fail. So these things have such low floats, man, that like they could be more of a trap than anything else. So they laid out pretty much what I would consider like the perfect trap on this thing. They popped it up, they sold it all the way back down, and now it's back to high of day and it traps. So this AMIX is probably going to be the biggest move or the biggest runner if it continues, because man, what a great trap, you know? And I could say that because I've been trapped like that before. You know? At low of the day to high of the day, man, is like my kryptonite. Shit always catches my ass. So move, we're under the $17 support, so we should just kind of wash out, ideally, until the 14s here. That's my thought. It's moving pretty damn slow. NUWE? What's NUWE doing? Yeah, that one failed.
AMIX halted down now.
Okay. What made you pick move over AMIX? Both are nano, both have been instant VWAP reclaims. Well, from what we could see here, it was pretty obvious which one was strong and which one was weak, right? You know, we could pretty much tell, you know, right from the get-go, which was strong and which was weak. So I kind of just used that information to my advantage and said, look, this one is looking pretty damn weak. This one's looking pretty damn strong. Chances are money flow is probably going to switch out, you know? So I was, honestly, it sounds kind of crazy. It's just like an eyeball. I was just using my eyeball to see which one was stronger and which one was weaker type thing. Thing is, this move is not really moving aggressively. You know, I thought it'd be a lot faster. Below that candle, 75. So we want to see a break of 75 here. There we go. 55, reduce some. So reducing some profits. So what makes you cover off that break of support rather than just add? Well, the thing is, like, I already got a couple ads here earlier, and I want to just take some profits off the table. So my biggest thing that I find is I actually trade better after I reduce some for profits. That way I could build a realized P&L cushion, and in case the stock bounces, at least I have some profits to offset that. It's almost like an insurance policy. So I always like to reduce some just to kind of build that cushion for myself, because I don't know if things are going to go wrong, you know? And if things go wrong, I want to make sure that I at least have some off. I covered about a third. And if we don't continue to fail here, I'm going to cover another third, you know? Like right now, it's kind of holding that 1590s area, you know? So maybe I'll reduce a little bit more just in case. So I reduced some more at 1590. So I covered 2/3 of my position, and now I have a third left. With that third, I could then set a stop at break even, or I could add on the bounce. So right now, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. Right now, it's bouncing. So it was good that I used my insurance policy to cover some on the dip. Now, if it bounces, I could slowly scale back in with the position that I covered and see what happens. Here we go. Let's see. Reshorted some here, 17. So notice, guys, I'm reducing some so that I have the ability to add it back. Again, this is just like an insurance policy. You don't want to use your insurance, but thank God you have it sometimes, you know? AMIX open. Covered sum 1650 from that 17 ad. That's another 50 cents a share I just made. So by reducing some in the dips, I was able to reshort and make an extra 50 cents a share.
AMX big
AMIX
fail.
fail. So if we wash out again under this VWAP area, I'm going to reduce a little bit more and then get back to being patient. You know, I thought there was going to be a lot more action. I thought there was going to be a lot more range, but it's kind of moving pretty damn slow, honestly. Slower than I thought, you know. 35 is the low of that candle. So looking to see if we got a little bit of a dip here on move.
NUWE, sorry.
And UWE try to reclaim. Nice call out, Steve.
Yeah, hopefully that takes some attention. Hopefully AMEX gets back above VWAP. That'd be nice too.
SpaceX, I think, has earnings tonight.
Thanks, David.
We should get a washout here. And if we do get that washout, I definitely do want to reduce some of my position. There we go. Covered some more 25. So notice, guys, by reducing some in the 15s, I bought myself realized profit. I used some of those realized profits to reshort into resistance. And then now I'm able to reduce that and make more money. Is that making sense? Is that making sense? So my biggest thing is I never know, guys, which stocks are going to continue to fail and which stocks are going to bounce. So if I assume that every single stock is going to bounce, right? If my assumption is every stock is going to bounce, then I want to be able to build a cushion as fast as possible. For example, let's say I used 1,000 shares. And on 1,000 shares, I covered, 2/3 of my position, which is called 600 shares or whatever, 660 shares, whatever the hell the math checks out to. All right, at that point, maybe I locked in $500. Then with that $500, I can say, all right, if this thing bounces, I want to risk that $500 on that reshort, And if it just fails, then so be it. Here we go. And another move down here. So what do you think I'm going to do here on this dip? I reduce some more at 93. Look at that, guys. I mean, this is a pretty, very relatively solid, you know, scaling in, scaling out. Overall market is just ripping up like crazy. So now I have very, very small size left in case we break below this support again. Notice, guys, as we got closer to that support area, I reduced. So now I've locked in more money. And now I have the ability, once again, if I choose to do so, reshort the bounce. The problem is now the bounce is getting a little bit more sketchy. And again, this is like squeezing water out of a rock today, man. You know, these are not, this is like probably a C setup. You know, it's not anything too special. Falling asleep pretty much.
Yeah. It's taking some time. Bit of a fail, but we got to break some levels lower.
PLTR still squeezing up. Definitely falling asleep here. Meanwhile, we're waiting for the Alex indicator. Man, that's messed up. But I'll allow it. A lot slower of a mover, man. Very slow of a mover. I guess this is what it feels like to be one of Joe's steaks on the smoker. Slow and steady.
Low and steady.
Okay, all right, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, it's starting to fail.
51, reduce more. Next support here is this 1530. So notice, guys, I'm not being greedy and saying, oh, it's going to go to $3 now. I'm just taking the money as it comes. And look, AMIX is still trapping.
Yeah, AMIX looks pretty trappy. Looks like it wants to squeeze above VWAP. So hopefully that'll take some attention.
So we'll see what it does, but ideally one more dip, and that's going to be it for me.
Yeah, I'd love a break of this kind of 1530 low.
Pretty solid, stress-free type of trading. And notice, in the morning, I wasn't even really that interested in this until, what did we do? We identified our key area of 17. What I've noticed is a lot of these times recently, some of these stocks, they just break the key area and never come back. So I want to take a little bit of a small piece in case that happened. And that was probably the best thing that I could have done. Additionally, I reduced some into the dips to build a realized P&L cushion, and then use that P&L cushion to reshort and make a little bit more money. So one more dip is all I want. And I'm going to be done with this thing. You know what's going to happen? The indicator is going to go off. I can tell you that much. This has been like the longest 30 minutes ever, it feels like.
Yeah, and it seems like whenever they're long and I'm just waiting and waiting, or both of us are and we cover out, it's always the same thing.
I just
It's like
run
they
out of
know when we
patience,
cover
man.
out.
I run out of patience.
Yeah.
I run out of patience. I mean, in the perfect world, I could just set a stop and let it ride, but like...
NUWE, trying to get some money flow, so hopefully that gets a little higher and helps us out. We need something to take some attention.
All right, so this is kind of bouncing now, so I'm just gonna get out of this thing shortly. All out here. All out. So here we go. It's my day. Made about 1,800 bucks today. Made about 1,800 bucks. You know, not obviously, you know, not the biggest trade in the world, not a life-changing trade, but hey, I'll take it any day of the week for no stress. You know.
Yep, nice one.
So this leaves me to probably about like 5 grand left to make back my losses. There's not really anything. So same thing as always. Gonna stream again tomorrow until I make back. I mean, I'll be streaming every day until I make back my losses. But you can see here, guys, slowly but surely, you know, making it back. Not being too aggressive, not over trading, not oversizing. Stock selection. And that's it. So that being said, we're going to call it a day here, ending live trading. If you want to join or have any questions, reach out to us. Just email us at stevenrh1@myinvestingclub.com. And yeah, that's it, guys. So you guys could see, you know, I went on a 4-day losing streak. Losing. And it's actually hilarious because it turns out the reason why I lost was an anomaly. You know, Leopard's hedge fund got liquidated. That was the forced seller. I was like, dude, why is there so much selling? Well, there was the forced seller, you know? So it's just funny, but everything happens for a reason, and really happy with my trading today. You know, I would have probably gotten trapped on AMIX in the past, but learning from my lessons every day in real time and just trying to get better. So that's it, guys. You don't have to trade all day. I don't trade all day. I trade for the first hour of the day. Today was only the first half hour, and that's all I need. So I want to take the meat of the move, and I'm not really interested in the scrap. So this thing might go to 14, it might go to 13, it might go back red, who knows? But all I know is I made my money, and I'm done for the day. So that's it. Have a great day, guys.